Is Instagram a waste of time, or can you actually get business from it? Today's guest, Shannon Gillette, talks about how she closed 70 deals this past year, and she attributes all of it, not a little bit of it, all of it to her presence on Instagram. Listen specifically to how she says people are doing, specifically real estate agents are doing Instagram wrong. They're treating it more like a commercial instead of like a TV show. She's going to explain everything. Can't wait for you to listen to this episode. Welcome back to the Think Bigger Real Estate Show. I am your host, Justin Stoddart. Very excited today to help you unlock the secrets of Instagram. I have with me Shannon Gillette, who closed over 70 homes last year as a solo agent. And she says when people tell her that you can't sell homes via Instagram, that maybe that's a waste of time, she says otherwise. So I want to thank Shannon Gillette for coming on the show today and for being able and willing to pour into us and teach us the do's and don'ts of Instagram.
Thank you for having me.
Super excited to have you here. You are a fun person to watch on social media. You have a beautiful family, 3 young boys. I also am a family person. My wife and I have 6 children, so we know a thing or two about families and trying to manage busy lives, big professional ambitions, with also wanting to show up as a great parent. In fact, part of the mission behind the Think Bigger Real Estate Show for everybody who's listening is that you can have it all. You can have success and significance, income and impact, great businesses and great families. So thank you for being a model of that, Shannon, for being somebody who cares very much about things other than just real estate.
Thank you.
Now, you've been in the business for how long, Shannon?
So I started my career in 2006 selling new homes. So I worked exclusively for a new home builder for 8 years. And if anybody has ever sold new homes, they know that it's a lot different from resale. You basically live in your new home sales office. You have no flexibility. So if your son has a football game on a Saturday morning, you cannot go to that game. You have to stay in your sales office and show people the model homes and sell new homes. So I did that for 8 years. It was awesome. I started that when I was 23 years old. By the time I was 24, 25, during the recession, I was the #1 new home sales consultant in the entire country for the country's largest builder. So I had a lot of success in new home sales, but I was missing out a lot with my family. I mean, I was sitting in my sales office as my oldest son took his first steps. I got a video of that. So I took the plunge in 2014. It was very scary for me because I had all this success in new home sales, but I left it to start a resale career, and I had to start fresh. Even my own family didn't consider me a realtor for probably about a year. They were referring other realtors business. I'm like, hey, what about me? I'm a realtor, but it took some time. So I had to build my business with not a lot of money to spend on leads. I've never really bought leads. What I did is I built a social media following. I treat my social media more like a TV show versus a commercial, which I can talk a little bit about tips with that. And I started implementing video with my real estate, and literally in 2019, selling over 70 homes, over $30 million. Not one of those sales came from a paid lead or me cold calling anybody or door knocking or any of that. People literally reach out to me through direct message on Instagram or text me and say things like, Shannon, we're thinking of selling our home. We've been following you on social media. Are you taking on new listings right now? And that's kind of how it all works, and it's awesome. And I'd love for anybody listening to be in this position because I don't like cold calling or door knocking.
And I would venture to say that most people don't like to be door knocked and don't like to be cold called, right? It's kind of the golden rule, right? Now, there's some people that I think do it respectfully and do it in a way where it works for their business. I love your approach, right? Where you are attracting business. And I want to hear a little bit about, you feel strongly that a lot of real estate agents are doing Instagram, and maybe they're doing it wrong. What are some key things that you see, Shannon, that you would say, if you're doing this, I would strongly recommend that you stop or pivot to where you're not doing that or showing up in that way anymore?
Yeah, so step one, if you don't have an Instagram page, you definitely should get one. And we're focusing more on Instagram today. I still use Facebook. There's still a lot of power in like my Facebook business page. People can go on there today and see all my videos. You can see my videos have 10 to 50,000 views on each one of my listing videos. But for Instagram, I think number one, you can't worry about how many followers you have. Some people may say, well, I only have 20 followers. There's no point investing time in Instagram. But at the end of the day, even if you have 20 followers, that's still really impactful. I mean, if you invited 20 people over to dinner tonight, they probably wouldn't fit around your dining room table. So just being consistent with Instagram is huge. So Instagram don'ts is treating it like a commercial. If you remember growing up and watching TV before the days of Netflix and before the days of fast forwarding through commercials, we would sit on the couch as a kid, put the TV on, watch our TV show, but then we had to sit through the commercials. We didn't turn our TV on to just watch commercials. Nobody does that except maybe the Super Bowl. You might watch the commercials then. But a lot of realtors, they're using their social media platform as a nonstop commercial, where if you follow them, all their feed is homes, just sold, I'm selling another house, are you looking to buy or sell a home? Nonstop selling things. Nobody wants to follow that. Instagram is treated more like a TV show where people are tuning into Instagram to follow your life. They want to know what you're having for breakfast, what your kids are doing, where you're going on vacation, how many animals you have, if you got a new plant, all of this really weird stuff people love following. And I would say that's the biggest mistake is people are treating it just business. And you have to ask yourself, what do you like to follow? If you were following somebody that sold a product unrelated to real estate and that's all they posted, you probably unfollow them.
It's really interesting because you're right. We tend to think that fast is fast, right? And then I'm going to get my message out to people and they're going to hear it and they're going to hear it repeatedly. And the more times that I can talk about what I do, the further my reach is going to be. And what I hear you saying is that fast is actually slow. Like the more that let's go back to your example. You have 20 people around your dinner table and all you do is talk about all the homes that you sold, right? Imagine you host this party and all you do is you talk at people and you're telling them about all your successes and all the good that you're doing in the world. I would imagine that people might not come back to that party, right? I would imagine that people, if you were to invite them back, they're kind of like, it wasn't that fun, right? Yeah. So what I hear you saying is that be a better host. If you're going to invite people over to your party, which is your house or your Instagram feed, make it very entertaining, almost like Kardashians, but with a little more class. Is that true?
Reality show. That's what I like to say. So for Instagram, 2 years ago, I used to have 2 pages, and people listening today, they might have a business Instagram and a personal Instagram that's private to their friends. I suggest deleting your business Instagram page, letting the world in on your personal Instagram. It was hard for me at first. I have 3 little boys. I had a private page. I had my own private life. I had to be like, okay, I'm making this public and anybody can follow me and watch my Instagram stories. So an Instagram story is a 15-second clip that only stays online for 24 hours. So I post a minimum of 10 Instagram stories per day. And your future clients, they are gonna wanna do business with people they know, they like, and that they trust. And you can develop these relationships through social media. We live in this crazy time where we have virtual friends. I follow people on Instagram that I've never met in real life, but I know their dog's name. I know where they went to vacation. I know everything about them. And it's through Instagram stories, watching their life. So that's how I use Instagram. I do about 80% personal. So if you see my average story during the day, it'll be from maybe when I'm waking up, maybe a workout, breakfast, my kids, like really just where people can get to know me. And then I sprinkle in real estate. I sprinkle in those commercials. So I'm planting these seeds, reminding people that I am the local real estate expert in the Queen Creek, Arizona area. I work hard for my clients and all of that, but it's not in your face all the time commercial.
And so when you say that, this kind of transition from a commercial to a TV show, give us an example of a business post that you would do. Like when you say, okay, I'm going to sprinkle in some real estate, what would that look like? Just so that people can kind of differentiate. You gave us some great examples of what it would look like on the personal stuff, everything from workout to hey, here's a cute picture with my kids. What would it look like on a business side? What would be something that you would share that you would think would be well received, keeping the same theme of being a TV show?
Yeah, so I never have ever asked anybody like, hey, if you're thinking about buying or selling, call me. It's more of just reminding people that you are in real estate, you are working hard. So for example, I could be going to show one house today. Maybe it's a rental house that I'm showing, but I could do like, maybe it has a cool kitchen. I could do a little behind the scenes video and maybe add a poll and ask people, do you like these kitchen cabinets? And I've just got a lot of engagement from my followers, because you want to post things where people are having that conversation with you or giving their opinion. And I've just reminded them that I'm a realtor. Last week I wanted to bring people in on just a day in the life of my real estate life. So I started in the morning and we went all over town, from listing appointments to showing homes to closings. And I don't do that every day, but it was just a little glimpse into how hard I work. I mean, I was out showing homes, going to appointments from like 7 a.m. and then I got home at 8:30 p.m. And it just shows people that I work hard. But then the next day, my family and I, we have a boat. We have beautiful lakes here in Arizona. The next day I took a half day and I went out on the boat with my family and I posted videos of that. And another powerful thing is to use your phone and talk into your phone. So the more you can have your face on your social media, the more you can gain trust with your followers. So you can literally, even if your makeup's not perfect, maybe you just got done working out, you can put your phone up, talk into it like, hey guys, I'm just about to go show some homes. What are you guys doing today? Something like that. And you're having these conversations with your followers and you're gaining that trust.
So it's almost, rather than as if you're speaking to an audience of people, you really treat it as if you're speaking to individuals, right? Hey, almost like the app Marco Polo, right? You're probably familiar with Marco Polo.
Yeah.
It's almost like treating your Instagram almost like a Marco Polo. Is that what I'm kind of understanding? Is that like you're speaking to individuals, although there's many of them. You're saying, hey, this is, hey, how are you doing today? This is what I'm doing. What are you doing? Right? I mean, is that maybe a good example of kind of how to use that and how to personalize it?
Yeah, and I mean, anybody that's really into social media, the average American is spending 3 hours on social media a day. So what a great opportunity to get in front of your followers, these people that will one day need to buy or sell a home, or they're going to run into somebody that's looking for a realtor, and you're going to get business from this. And it's not going to cost you anything. So in Instagram, it seems weird. Instagram is a completely different platform than Facebook. So if somebody's new to Instagram, I would recommend first following other people that you admire, not copying them, but just seeing what they do. There's a page called My Sister Studio out of Texas that I follow. She's not in real estate, but she does such a great job of talking into the camera, and you can get ideas of how, man, I feel like I'm friends with her. Again, she doesn't even know me. So following people to get those ideas. Another realtor that I love to follow is Steve Pate. Would definitely recommend following him. Every single morning he is taking a sip of his coffee in front of his followers. It's crazy. You should follow it. Another realtor I love following is Sharon White, who's another realtor. She's actually on my team here in Queen Creek. And before I ever met Sharon, I knew her girls. I knew that they played soccer. She's awesome at talking into the camera. And I needed to hire a realtor because I'm so crazy busy with all these social media leads. I just can't even do it myself. And she was the first one I thought of because I felt like I knew her. We met for coffee and I was basically like, will you come join my team? And it was all because of social media.
Of your 70 deals, how many of those do you think would not have come to you if you had either no presence on social media or maybe kind of just an average, kind of like commercial type presence?
I want to say that all of them somehow come from social media, whether it's even just a friend that's buying a home. They wouldn't know I'm a realtor if it wasn't for social media. I get a lot of referrals from other realtors throughout the country. I have a lot of realtor followers, and I get a lot of buyers and sellers through hashtags. I mean, the millennial is the largest buyer pool in the marketplace right now, and that's like the 36 and under age group. I mean, they're out buying homes. They're out buying $1 million homes. And when they look for a realtor, they're going to Instagram and typing in hashtag your city realtor, like hashtag Queen Creek Realtor. They're Googling you. You need to be present on social media and online, and you have to implement video. Video is another thing that's really helped with my success. If anybody goes to my Instagram page, which is at Shannon_Gillette, you'll see my feed has a lot of these videos called Home of the Day. And what I do is for every single home I list, whether it's a $90,000 lot for sale or a $2 million estate, I do a Home of the Day 60-second video commercial. And you'll always see that I'm on every one of the videos, because as much as you can get your face out there, the better. If you're just doing some video of a house, drone of the outside, and you're nowhere to be found, you're not going to gain that trust. And you're not really going to help with your branding and all of that.
Interesting. I think that's really helpful for a lot of people, Shannon, is to realize that you're the star of the show. The house is not the star of the show. You are the star of the show, right? Mm-hmm. The purpose of social media is to sell your business and gain trust with people. And if you're not in your own show, then guess what? It's no longer your show.
I love that. Yes. And I read something where like years ago, people bought your product, people bought, the house. Now, when people are looking to hire a realtor, I mean, where I live, we have 55,000 licensed realtors in Phoenix. There is a lot of competition. The average client of mine knows 8 other realtors. So there are a lot of realtors out there. So people are hiring you because of you and because of your branding and because they like you. I mean, some people don't like me. Some people might think my voice is really annoying on my videos, but I mean, enough people trust me and want to work with me to where I can sell a lot of homes and not have to buy any leads. So it's amazing.
So if there's somebody out there struggling right now who doesn't have 70 deals and they'd love to have 70 deals and you have no presence on social media, my advice to you would be to go and follow Shannon Gillette on Instagram and start to learn from her, right? Learn from what you're doing. My guess is that there's going to be a percentage of increase of your of the success that you're having, other people are going to start to experience. And so I really appreciate you opening up and sharing that. Can you help us identify what is the best use of stories versus timeline? Mm-hmm. Like your, I guess, newsfeed and Facebook, I think it's called timeline, right?
Yeah.
In Instagram. How do you decide what goes on my story and what goes in my timeline?
Yeah, so I really focus a lot of my time and attention into the stories. That's like your direct conversations with your followers, and you're letting them in on your daily life. So I post much different content on my Instagram stories versus my Instagram tiles. But you do want your Instagram feed to look very clean and nice. Another mistake I see so many realtors do is they add text to their picture. So for example, you may have seen it on Instagram. They maybe just sold a house and they have a picture of the front of the house and then they put text on top of it and say sold or their logo and all of that. That comes across to the consumer as a commercial. You're selling them on something. They don't like it. Also, social media is very smart and savvy. They know when you're adding text to a picture, they're not going to show that to as many people because they want your content to be very authentic. So even if you just sold a home, you can still post a picture of the beautiful home, but write your verbiage in the little description and write something cool. Just don't add text to any of your photos. If you look at my feed, I try to make it very clean because when people go to your Instagram, they're going to scroll through and right away get a really good sense of who you are. You should have a very good mix. Like you could go to my Instagram feed and right away tell that I have 3 boys, I'm married, I like to travel, and just a little bit more than just real estate. So yeah, I mean, definitely go to my page. You want to also tell people who you are in your bio, where you sell homes. I go to so many realtors pages and it doesn't even say what city they sell homes in. Our county where I sell, we're the fastest growing county in the country. We have 220 people moving here every day. So people are looking for us, on social media from out of state. So saying where you work, a little bit about you, having your highlights updated too. So and really, at the end of the day, you can learn anything you want on YouTube or through podcasts. So there's no excuse to not be an expert in these fields. I mean, everything I've learned, I've just gone online and Googled it and learned how to implement things.
Boy, I couldn't agree with you more on that note. It just comes down to how bad do you want it? Because we no longer fact, I heard it said that like we no longer just live in the information age because information is abundant. That doesn't set people apart anymore, because in one Google search, you can have everything you want. We're really living in an era now of insights where it really comes down to what you can do with that information. And that's where I think it really separates a lot of people from the rest, from the crowd, is the fact that most people aren't willing to do the work, right? You talked this morning about how you were up at 3, I was up at 4, and there's just a price that you have to pay in order to get additional knowledge. So if you feel like, I don't have time to do all this stuff, I don't know how she does it. There is, right? It's called, you just need to discipline yourself to get to bed a little earlier, get up a little earlier. And you have literally the world at your fingertips of masters who are giving you information, just like Shannon's so kind to do today, just giving us free information that we can implement. So I really appreciate you saying the fact that that's how you've learned, right? It's not that you were given some special endowment from heaven, in order to learn these things. Like, you actually just paid the price to go study other people and YouTube it and follow Instagrammers that are doing it, which is awesome.
And stay consistent too. I mean, if you're going to do Instagram, you have to be present. You have to engage in other people's posts, liking other realtors' posts, all of that. I mean, I have so many realtor followers. I can post one of my coming soon listings and get showing requests just through Instagram stories. So it's really powerful. But then also what is really important, and something that's very important to me, is having a life outside of real estate. Because again, real estate can take over your calendar. So at the beginning of each month, I write down my non-negotiables, whether that's a date night with my husband, a special family dinner with my boys, or maybe, a weekend trip or something like that. Because once you also figure out what's important to you outside of real estate, that also gives you great post content as well. So if you're only selling real estate, it's going to be hard to actually have anything that people really want to follow. So that's another thing too. I mean, you have to really figure out what's important to you and your non-negotiables, because once you start doing Instagram well, you're going to get a lot of business and it can overtake your life. So my husband and I run a nonprofit. We're really involved in our church. So we like to take that time away and just kind of reset from real estate as well. And then when you're doing the things you love, post them on your Instagram story. If you're walking your dog, post a video of you walking your dog, and it'll be really powerful.
I think that's the beauty of it, right? If you do the things you love, whether it's family, whether it's church, whether it's your dog, whether it's boating, whether it's travel, do those things and put them out to the world, and the people that also like those things will find you, right?
Yeah.
And it's such a powerful principle. Tell us quickly, I've got 2 last questions before you, because I know you've got to wrap up. You've got a busy day ahead of you. So one question, what's one tactic that you've used? I know a lot of people struggle with this. I've heard agents talk about this. I struggle with this, being in the picture, right? When you're out in a public scene in a setting, do you have some sort of selfie stick? Do you have just a tripod with a remote? What do you do to where it doesn't feel so awkward for you to document your day, be in the video, be in the picture? Do you have someone else take it for you? What have you found to do to get to kind of overcome that kind of awkwardness of, I'm in public and I'm taking pictures of myself? You know what I mean?
Yes, no, that is a great question, because I do a lot of video and I'm on all my videos, and people always say, I want to do video, but I'm so awkward on camera. I don't want to do it, blah, blah, blah. But you can't have any excuses. Video is the future. It's a non-negotiable. You should be doing video no matter what. And another realtor I like to follow is Seth O'Byrne in San Diego. He does video so well, and I was listening to him on a podcast last week, because I also always am sharpening my skills. When I'm driving, I'm listening to podcasts. I'm not watching TV. I'm trying to just be better every single day. And I believe that my only competition is who I was yesterday, not other realtors. So Seth O'Byrne said, remember going to your first listing appointment, you were probably really nervous. I still get nervous at listing appointments. But guess what? The more listing appointments you went to, the more comfortable you got, the more confident you were in yourself. So just when you're talking in front of the camera, imagine you're talking to a client at an open house about that home or something like that. I don't have any special tools. I just use my phone for my Instagram stories and all that. I do believe in the power of investing in professional videography for my listings. I believe my sellers deserve the best, and I have my own videographer on my team. I invest a lot in my listings. Even if it's a $90,000 home, it's still going to have a professional video. It's still going to have professional professional photos. I take that video and I target market it out to a minimum of 10,000 people within the first 7 days, because I feel like so many realtors, all they do is they just throw their listing up in the MLS and wait for somebody to find it, when we should really be doing better for our sellers. We should be marketing their home, and video gives that opportunity to really get it in front of a lot of people.
So good. And the fact that I believe that the industry is going to go towards those who have an audience, right?
Mm-hmm.
As you compete with the likes of Zillow's, those that are, they're extremely good at getting and keeping attention. We have to be extremely good at getting and keeping attention if we're going to also maintain a place at the table. Last question, Shannon, and then you have to go. You're a big thinker. You're doing some amazing things, right? That's why you're, I always mess this up, on the Think Bigger Real Estate Show. What do you do to continue to be a big thinker, to continue to expand your possibilities? What does that look like for you?
Oh man, I mean, I want to be doing things today that other realtors aren't doing for 5 years. And I can't just keep doing the same things. I can't do the same things today that I was doing last year for my listing marketing and my videos. I mean, I'm always changing. I always want to be at the forefront of the current marketing trends and social media and all of that. So I can't get comfortable. I mean, I'm selling a good amount of homes. People are just reaching out to me, but every day I want to be better. I want to implement new things, and my clients deserve the best too. I mean, I've only ever received a 5-star review from my clients, and I really care about them, and I really care about giving them the best experience possible. So even my sellers are benefiting from my Instagram following, because again, I'm able to get my listings in front of thousands of people through Instagram, thousands of other realtors and things. So I don't know if that answers the question.
That was a great question. Doing things that that other people aren't going to be doing for another 5 years. That was an absolutely brilliant answer. I've never heard that. I've interviewed a lot of big thinkers. Just goes to show why you're having the success that you are. Thank you so much for everything you've poured into the audience today. Shannon, it's been a total pleasure. I want to thank Shelby, who I know is tuning in here, who connected us. Shelby with Old Republic Title out of Arizona. She's one of my comrades, one of my counterparts. She's fantastic. So thank you again, Shelby, for that introduction. And Shannon, again, thank you so much for all that you've contributed here. And I want to invite the audience, now that you know how to improve your game, how to begin to grow your presence through Instagram, it's time we get to work. My final request of everybody here is to go think bigger and put all this stuff into action. Thank you, Shannon. I appreciate you very much. It's been such a pleasure to meet you.
Thank you. You too.